But let's get into Emulation, because there we do have some very cool performance. So first off, let's play some PlayStation 1. And I can tell you that it even runs on 2 times the resolution, and it looks absolutely great. And this is one of the things we can able to do with a device with so much power in the inside. You have way better performance even with PlayStation 1 starting to upscale stuff. Where with your typical Powkiddy or Anbernic handheld, we just have native resolution. That is not a bad thing, not at all in my opinion. But this is just like the extra cherry on top of the pie. I can tell the speakers go very loud when it comes to that. Let's lower it a little bit. And looks like I didn't configure that out of the box. But I also noticed when it comes to configuring that it works like a charm. When you're configuring the joystick itself, you can just play it like that. But again, even with in shmup, I did notice that it's absolutely not a pleasant experience. Okay, so first off, let's try some GameCube. And yeah, I must say that I did have some slowdowns here and there. What you can do when you're having issues with a game like F-Zero GX. So you can go into the menu itself. I have seen one of the videos Retro Game Course saying that some of the things can have a bug inside that you need to keep clicking on the game settings or the mode. You can also mess around with the fan itself to keep them cool, but you can see that it does not getting really hot at the moment. But in consideration that is absolutely F-Zero GX was one of the more demanding systems out there, or at least the game. I also implemented the second frames per second meter simply because I had some issues, where you can see like my official one is being stuck on 5 FPS. No idea why, so it doesn't really communicate to the game system or the emulator itself. But we do have an unplayable situation. What you can also do is put it back on 50 FPS. So you're getting actually the ball gameplay. So in that case you have way better overall performance. But again, it will dip down to 40. But if you're going to check out a different game, then you will see you're going to get way better overall performance without stuttering whatsoever. Okay, I've been testing some couple of games and I've noticed that we actually can only use a certain amount of, let's say, resolutions on this. We cannot put it on 4K. Personally, I don't really care about it. We can even play it on the full HD resolution. Take consideration that you need to buy the Redream application to unlock the full HD functionality. But it's only a couple of euros in the store. But it runs perfectly on here. So when you only need to use the D-pad, pressing downwards and forwards and stuff like that, for finding games like these, like Dead Alive, it's no problem whatsoever. So when it comes to Dreamcast, we have some amazing overall performance. But now we're going to get into the real fighting games in my opinion. And when you're going to get used to the D-pad, we can actually do all of the moves. So it's depending how is the learning curve. In my opinion, you do have a small learning curve when it comes to fighting games because of the freaking annoying schmooshy long travel D-pad, but I can get some moves out without any problems. But when it comes to the PlayStation 2 emulation, I know a lot of you are curious about that, and I can tell you we had some very cool overall performance. It will not be of higher resolutions, but we're able to play it with the Aether SX2. I hope in the future the creator will keep updating it, because at this moment in this video there is no updating anymore. So compatibility is not 100%, but with, for example, a game like Tekken 4, we have some amazing overall performance. So we can really enjoy these old school classic games on the AE Neo. So what's quite unfortunate and a great example that the Ether SX2 still have issues. First of all, when you're having the ANEO, my controls don't do anything. I was double checking everything if this also has been something to do with the handle connection. But if you're going to mess around with this, nothing works at all. So I need to close the freaking emulator down and try again. But after around like 8 attempts, I managed to get the controls working with the game. It's just a bug that cannot be fixed that easily, but when you're starting the game, you're just pressing instantly story mode. It seems to be working just fine. But when you're looking at the FPSs, it runs all the way up to 60 FPS with a minor dip to 55. But come on, it is really cool. You can actually play some Twisted Metal Black on the device. But here you can see, even going to open world parts, it's going to be dipping to 40. And there we go, we have a massive dip. And if this is like a power issue or it's going to be a compatibility issue, it doesn't even matter. It was cool to play it for like 10 seconds on 60 FPS. And of course we need to have a little bit of a God of War. I've put it on the 3x resolution. That is the best I could get out of this machine. Take consideration, if you're going to have a less demanding game, you can put up the, if you can upscale it to higher resolutions. But I can tell you, in combination with the display and upscaling, this is absolutely the next level PSP experience on the go. No stutters at that moment. Normally when he basically zooms in into the boat, we do have some dips down to the point that it's unplayable, but we don't have it at all. If you're going to be upscaling it, then you will have a lot of stutters and a lot of problems. So in my opinion, 3x resolution is the max that you can go. Throughout the video, I've shown you a couple of things that I loved about this device or that I just hated. So first of all, yeah, when it comes to emulation, there are quite a lot of limitations there. And I must say that is a little bit of a bummer if you want to have a device that can emulate a lot of things. For example, PlayStation 2 had a lot of issues due to the software compatibility and of course when it comes to just the emulator itself. Nevertheless, I think it's a very cool piece of technology, but personally I mostly played Street of Rage 4 because I just really enjoyed that game. And when it comes to the controls, yeah, I already talked about it a couple of times. Nevertheless, thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, let me know if you want to see anything running on this, and it would be great to see you in the next video.